Ding Shaowu, a former deputy town mayor, was reborn in 2008 when he graduated from university. Due to various circumstances, he was appointed as the village leader, and then the village branch secretary, deputy town mayor, and town mayor rose all the way. Chapter 1. Village Chief and Branch Secretary's Wife. You are listening at Novel Full. Audio. Ding Shaowu woke up to find himself in a house without a ceiling. The windows were covered in spider webs, the mottled walls were adorned with posters of female celebrities, and at the end of the bed was a large cement wheat stall. The big rooster outside the window is crowing. Wearing big shorts, I walked out of the door of the suite and saw a young woman in the living room picking up miscellaneous items from the wheat with a dustpan. The young woman had a rosy complexion, with a hint of redness inside. As she was carrying a dustpan, she pulled up her slightly tight coat, revealing a fair complexion around her waist. It's my sister. Law Wang Xiaomeng. Seeing Ding Shaowu staring directly at her, Wang Xiaomeng's face turned red. I pulled back on my white coat, but with this pull, the front became even more prominent. Ding Shaowu quickly returned to the interior and put on his vest. Come out and see that the electronic clock calendar on the living room wall is August 8, 2008. Is it a time travel? Ding Shaowu, who lived in his past life, was the only college student in the village. After graduating from the police academy, he ranked first in the written test for the police officer position at the Public Security Bureau. However, during the interview, he fell second in the total score and was not admitted. Later, he became a college student village official and was admitted to the civil service position in the town. Due to his introverted personality and lack of social skills, after more than 10 years in the town, he only became an old deputy mayor. On that day, the new county mayor went to inspect the work in the town and had dinner in the evening. The new county mayor had a high tolerance for alcohol, and the secretary and mayor couldn't accompany him, so he pushed Ding Shaowu up. The county mayor cheated while drinking, and in the end, he drank 2 cups of mineral water, which made Ding Shaowu drink 2 cups of 53 degrees Celsius. Ding Shaowu returned to the duty room drunk and couldn't sleep. He was 38 years old. In order to cover up the fact of drinking with public funds, the town said that Ding Shaowu had a sudden heart attack and hastily cremated him. Seeing Ding Shaowu stunned, Wang Xiaomeng became even more reserved. Just now, he saw Ding Shaowu's developed chest muscles and 8-pack abdominal muscles. There seems to be a little rabbit bouncing around on its chest. My brother is not at home. Ding Shaowu asked. I went to the corn fields to weed. Why didn't you call me? You are a college student with delicate skin and tender flesh. I'm afraid you won't be able to do heavy work, so I didn't call you. 2008 was the year when I graduated from college. The lonely man and widow were in the same room, feeling a bit awkward. Ding Shaowu remembered that his organizational relationship had not yet been handed over to the village branch. He went back to his house and found a letter of introduction from the organization, and went to the village committee. Ding Shaowu was a student cadre in school and proudly joined the organization. Graduated, there is no new receiving unit, so the organizational relationship can only be temporarily transferred to the village. It's past 5 o'clock, the weather in August is still high, and cicadas are chirping wildly in the trees. Encountering several old party members in the village, Ding Shaowu quickly pulled out a cigarette and handed it over. What are you doing, Shaowu? Asked an old party member. I handed over the organizational relationship to the village branch. Turn back the organizational relationship, and in the future, you will be the youngest party member in the village. You will need to participate in the village's organizational activities. That's it, that's it. Is there anyone in the village committee? Just finished the video conference, the village chief Ho Dongkue hasn't left yet. You can go and give him the organization introduction letter. Is Ho Shuji at home? I went out to attract investment with the mayor, I don't know when I can come back. Okay, I'll go to the village committee. The village committee is located at the west end of the village, slightly away from the village. Arriving at the courtyard of the village committee, a motorcycle parked there. Ho Donkue must still be inside. The village room consists of 4 tiled houses, with the main door closed. When I pushed and pushed, I found that it was locked inside. Is Ho Donkue in the restroom? After waiting for a while, no one came out of the toilet. Ding Shaowu went in, and the toilet was filled with a foul odor, with flies flying everywhere and no one in sight. Arriving at the window of the village room, with the curtains drawn, I could vaguely hear a regular, creaking, sound. What's going on inside? Reaching out and opening the curtain, Ding Shaowu was stunned by the scene before him. He saw the village women's director, Meixiang, sitting on the chair stacked by the village director, Ho Donkue, and the sound was made by the chair being overwhelmed. This dog man and woman, just after receiving ideological education at the meeting, began to engage in shameful behavior. Meixiang was the younger wife of Ho Jinlai, the village branch secretary. Ho Jinlai was in his 50s and his wife passed away the year before yesterday. Less than 3 months after his wife's death, he married Meixiang, who was 20.7 or 8 years old. Meixiang was from outside and had a seductive appearance, often wandering on the streets in short skirts. The female director in the village is getting older, so Ho Jinlai dismissed her and brought Meixiang into the village committee. The female director also serves as the leader of the 3 groups. It is said that the village women's director is in charge of the team, with a monthly subsidy of several hundred yuan. The fertilizer and water do not flow into the fields of outsiders. How can someone else take on such good things? 2 years ago, there was a change of leadership in the village, and Ding Dao, his older brother, was a strong competitor to the village branch secretary. However, Ding Shaowu, who had come back from vacation from the county town, passed through a steep slope and fell a large rock from the slope. The rock did not hit Ding Dao and hit his tricycle, causing the tricycle to lose balance and rush into the ditch. The handlebar was embedded in the skin and flesh of his thigh. Later, passers-by pulled Ding Dao out, resulting in a pelvic bone fracture. I stayed in the hospital for a few months, but my pelvis grew and I became disabled. I walked with a limp, and the man's belongings were also scrapped. Ding Dao did not participate in the election and naturally did not become the village branch secretary. From then on, the whole person wilted and didn't feel much. Someone in the village said that Ding Dao was hit by a stone on the mountain with premeditation, and the biggest suspect was Ho Jinlai, but there was no evidence and he ended up in bad luck. After Ho Jinlai continued to serve as the village branch secretary, he bullied and harassed Ding Dao everywhere. When Ding Shaowu was in his 3rd year of college, the village adjusted the responsibility farmland. At that time, the allocation of responsibility farmland for college students was no longer guaranteed, and the responsibility farmland for college students in other villages was not transferred. Ho Jinlai insisted on transferring Ding Shaowu's 2 acres and 3 portions of land. Ding Dao approached Ho Jinlai to argue, but was slapped in the face by Ho Jinlai and kicked into the ditch. Ding Dao was afraid that Ding Shaowu would find Ho Jin to expose this matter and kept it hidden from him. He only heard about this recently. The sound of creaking is even more rapid. The camera switch for the video conference is under the window. Ding Shaowu reached in with his hand, quietly turned on the switch, gently closed the curtains, and turned his head to leave. Let them live for free. Chapter 2. Good women don't take immediate losses. You are listening at novelfull.audio. Before I could get home, I saw my neighbor's widow Niu Feifei jumping and cursing at her doorstep, who doesn't lay eggs in their house. The mother hen is so naughty, it's eating the vegetables I've grown in my yard. It's like losing a child, losing 1,000 knives, and getting 100 men. Ding Shaowu gave Niu Feifei a disgusted glance. The good man refused to fight against the woman and pushed the door back home. Niu Feifei and the Ding family are neighbors next door. Niu Feifei's husband died in a car accident last year and received compensation of over 100,000 yuan. Niu Feifei kept the money for himself and didn't give a penny to his in-laws. He lived in 4 large tiled houses and threatened to invite his son in law. Niu Feifei planted a wudong tree against the 2 courtyard walls. The thick branches of the wudong tree reached into the Ding's yard. The strong wind broke the branches that reached the Ding's yard. Niu Feifei insisted that it was Ding Dao who broke it, often pointing fingers and cursing the streets in the most malicious language. In the yard, Sister in law Wang Xiaomeng is wiping away her tears. Who did she curse at? Ding Shaowu asked angrily. Shouting and cursing at our doorstep, who do you think she scolded? Ding Shaowu's anger didn't hit a single spot. Live a lifetime, never be submissive or cowardly, and never let your siblings be bullied again. Turning around, he walked out of the courtyard door and pointed at Niu Feifei's nose, shouting, Who are you scolding? Seeing Ding Shaowu staring out, Niu Feifei was not afraid at all. This college student is like a vegetable from a young age. Don't be fooled by his imposing demeanor. When it comes to arguing, he's not as good as a little girl. Niu Fei straightened his chest and jumped high, almost hitting Ding Shaowu's face with his chest tool. Chipping melon seeds and creating a stinky bug, what kind of benevolence? 2 roosters cuddle with a hen, and the hen will definitely lay eggs. In the future, she will even talk about our vegetables. Niu Feifei didn't finish speaking. With a click sound, Ding Shaowu slapped and swung it over, causing several red marks to immediately appear on Niu Feifei's fair face. Niu Feifei didn't expect Ding Shaowu to really dare to take action. He was stunned for a moment and lowered his head to collide with Ding Shaowu. Hitting someone, bullying my widow. All the old and young men in the village are coming to see me. I won't live anymore, I want to die with him. Ding Shaowu dodged Niu Feifei's collision and didn't want Niu Feifei to stop and hug him. A pair of thin white hands grabbed him down. This is the ultimate skill of a rural shrew. Picking up Niu Feifei's soft body and looking around, no one dared to throw her onto the street. There was a pile of wheat straw at the entrance of Niu Feifei's yard. Ding Shaowu took 2 steps and threw Niu Feifei onto the wheat straw stack. A little dog escaped from the wheat straw pile, barking and barking. The noisy noise alarmed the neighbors, who burst into laughter when they saw the disheveled appearance of Niu Feifei. Niu Feifei's hair was disheveled, and the buttons on his chest broke open, revealing a bright white. She has never suffered such a loss since marrying into Hujiazwang. Climbing up from the wheat straw stack, he rushed towards Ding Shaowu again. Ding Shaowu, who was tall and had long arms, pressed down on her head. Niu Feifei kicked and grabbed, but couldn't reach Ding Shaowu. In a moment of urgency, Niu Feifei jumped up and took a bite from Ding Shaowu's wrist. Ding Shaowu quickly withdrew his hand. Niu Feifei approached Ding Shaowu's body, and his small hands leaned down again. You can't use the second middle Yin move. Grasping onto Niu Feifei's chest, the area was warm and cozy, but at this moment, he didn't dare to daydream. With one force, he lifted Niu Feifei up with one hand. Ding Shaowu saw a hint of fear in Niu Feifei's eyes. This kid is crazy. Whirl the cow over her head, and if she were thrown onto the asphalt road all at once, she would probably have to lie in bed for half a month. Brother Ding Dou returned from the field and saw Ding Shaowu holding a cow flying with one hand, ready to throw it out. He shouted, Shaowu, what are you doing? Put her down. Ding Shaowu saw his brother's face full of fear. Since the car accident, his brother has not broken his pelvis, but his spine, and he is afraid of stepping on an ant when walking. Niu Feifei was scratching Ding Shaowu's arm above his head. After a round, he threw the cow flying onto the wheat straw stack. Niu Feifei was panting heavily and dared not get up. After a moment of rest, he began to shout and curse again, I am your 8th generation ancestor. What's the family matter? 2 roosters sleep with one hen, and if the hen doesn't cuddle, she will eventually have no children or grandchildren. Niu Fei's scolding becomes increasingly unpleasant. Sister-in-law Wang Xiaomeng came out of the yard and saw Ding Shaowu throwing Niu Feifei onto the wheat straw stack, which relieved her anger. However, Niu Feifei is an arched bull, afraid that the family will never be peaceful in the future, so he pushed Ding Shaowu towards the house. Brother Ding Dou also scolded Ding Shaowu to go home. At this moment, when he goes back, he is afraid that Niu Feifei will curse at his doorstep until dawn. He knows that rural women curse the streets fiercely, and some people can curse for 3 days and 3 nights without eating or drinking. Ding Shaowu broke free from his sister-in-law Wang Xiaomeng's push and walked up to Niu Feifei, shouting, "Do you dare to curse again?" Niu Feifei was suppressed by the furious Ding Shaowu, but his mouth refused to admit defeat. I cursed the chicken that couldn't lay eggs, I cursed the shameless chicken. If you dare to curse again, look at me. Ding Shaowu looked around. It's unreasonable to hit another woman. A single slap can tilt her mouth. There is a pile of fresh cow dung not far away. Ding Shaowu took out a shovel from home and scooped up the cow dung. If you dare to scold again, put it in your mouth. Niu Feifei was completely scared. The kid in front of him dared to slap himself and even more dared to stick cow dung on his face. A hero does not suffer immediate losses. No, even a good woman cannot suffer immediate losses. Niu Feifei stood up and ran home, tying the door. The onlookers burst into laughter. Ding Shaowu was pushed home. Wang Xiaomeng complained, "How can you see women in the same way? Regardless of whether it's a man or a woman who dares to curse, Ding Shaowu, hear it and hit it once." Ding Shaowu shouted loudly, knowing that Niu Feifei must be listening on the other side of the courtyard wall. Ding Dou sighed and said, "You are a college student. If you want to go out and work in the future, be careful of your family affairs. In the future, I won't leave in Hujiazwang. Even college students are human, and they will fight back when they are scolded." After Ding Shaowu left the village committee, the chairs inside still creaked and creaked. Ho Dongkui's phone rang. When he picked it up, he saw that it was from Mao Rongrong, the deputy secretary of the town party committee. "Stop moving and turn on the answer button." "Secretary Mao, what instructions do you have?" "Ho Dongkui, you are a fucking dog. You fell in love in the conference room." Ho Dongkui was startled, thinking that Mao Rongrong had seen it outside the village. He turned his head and saw that the door was closed and the curtains were drawn. Feeling puzzled, Mao Rongrong's curse erupted again. "What are you looking at? The cameras in the village are not turned off, and all the leaders and cadres in the province have seen you exercising like a dog." Sure enough, the camera they were facing flickered. Immediately, a cold sweat broke out from her body and she pushed away Meixiang from her arms. Meixiang was in high spirits when she saw Ho Dongkui rudely pushing her away. She exclaimed discontentedly, "Don't panic. In just 5 minutes, I'll be full." "Bad thing, the camera hasn't been turned off." He walked to the window with his pants in his hand and turned off the camera. Meixiang was also blindfolded and nervously tied her belt, saying, "What should I do? My uncle will peel my skin when he comes back. I have to leave." In terms of seniority, Ho Jinlai is Ho Dongkui's distant uncle, and Meixiang is Ho Dongkui's younger aunt. "Where are you going? What should I do if you leave?" Meixiang trembled. "Let's hide for a while before we talk." Ho Dongkui opened the door, rode on the motorcycle in the yard, and ran away. Chapter 3. Double Dismissal. You are listening at novelfull.audio. Today's meeting is the Provincial 3 Autumn Production Work Conference, which runs from the province to the village. Ho Jin is over 50 years old, so his abilities in that area are naturally not as good as that of the young and strong Ho Dongkui. Ho Dongkui often goes to Ho Jin to discuss village affairs, and with a few visits, the two of them get along well. When Ho Jinlai is at home, Ho Dongkui goes to his house. When Ho Jinlai is not at home, Ho Dongkue also goes to his house. A few village committee members and veteran party members left, and Ho Dongkue closed the door to have a fast food. He didn't want Ding Shaowu to come. After the meeting, not all cameras were immediately turned off. In most units, there were correspondents cleaning the meeting rooms, and some leaders discussing work in the meeting rooms. At this moment, the scene in Hojia village shows two people undressing and undressing. The secretary of the provincial government first discovered the video and quickly reported it to the deputy secretary-general. The deputy secretary-general made a phone call to the city to the county, and the county to the town. Upon receiving the call, the deputy secretary of the town, Mao Rongrong, immediately retrieved the video of Hojia village and indeed saw the two fighting fiercely. The provincial leaders are aware of the ugly matter and demand serious accountability. The town leaders immediately decided to suspend Ho Dongkue's position as village chief and Meixiang's position as women's director and leader of the third group. An hour later, Mao Rongrong rode a motorcycle to the village. There is no one in the village. Where are you? Said Ho Dongkue on the phone. Secretary Mao, my cousin took on a big job in Shenzhen and asked me to go to his place to show him the show. Fuck off your mother's snowflake fart, where the hell are you? I'm in the village office, come over quickly. Ho Dongkue said with a tearful tone, Secretary Mao, I'm sorry to the leaders of the town, to the men, women, and children of Ho family village. When things happen, I have to go out and hide. Otherwise, Ho Jin will come back and skin me. When you creaked and felt comfortable on the chair, didn't you expect Ho Jin to peel your skin? Secretary Mao, sometimes men's stuff can't be controlled. Are you coming back or not? Secretary Mao, what's up? You can tell me on the phone. I really dare not go back. Ho Jin is not at home, and his brothers and nephews are like wolves and tigers. Knowing this will soak me in a pig cage. Okay, I'll announce the decision of the town party committee to you. Your village director's position has been dismissed. The relevant decisions will be made according to the procedure. Let's just let it go. A broken director costs a few hundred yuan per month, I don't care. Secretary Mao, I'm asking you, does Ho Jinlai know about this? He and the town mayor are outside for investment promotion, so we probably don't know yet. Please, Secretary Mao, don't tell Ho Jin about this. Can it be hidden for a while? Can it be hidden for a lifetime? I don't say it, others will say it too. How long can I keep it a secret? I told my family to help my cousin take care of the project. If the villagers asked you, why didn't I become the village director? You said the same. It's not a waste of me working with you for so long. When Mao Rongrong arrived, he was very angry. Seeing Ho Dongkue pleading pitifully, he said, all right, you write a resignation report and send it to the town for me. I will try my best to get it over for you. Thank you, Secretary Mao. If I can fool you, you are my second-generation father and mother. All right, it's good to go out and avoid the limelight. If Ho Jinlai hears about this, there might be a homicide. If he finds out about this in the future, I'll do some work for him. Let's see what you can do about it. Thank you, Secretary Mao, thank you, Secretary Mao. If Ho Dongkue were in front of him, he would probably have knelt down for Mao Rongrong. After hanging up Ho Dongkue's phone, Mao Rongrong rode his motorcycle to Ho Jinlai's house. Ho Jinlai's house is one of the few buildings in the village. Meixiang and Ho Jinlai met at a foot wash shop. Meixiang was energetic, friendly, and skilled in handling people. Ho Jinlai often clicked on her table, and as they went back and forth, they developed that kind of relationship. Ho Jinlai's wife has died, and the two are like glue. Meixiang saw that Ho Jin had come with a lot of money and was generous in his actions. I am almost 30, and the best season for women is about to pass, so I have attached myself to Ho Jinlai. After getting married, Ho Jinlai suddenly lost interest in that area and often gave up halfway, causing Meixiang to feel uncomfortable all over. One night, Ho Dongkue brought back Ho Jin, who had been drinking a lot of alcohol. Ho Jin was like a dead pig and brought Ho Jin to bed. Ho Dongkue wanted to leave, so Meixiang went out to see him off. The two of them had their first time in the yard. There is a first round that cannot be stopped, no matter when or where, as long as there is an opportunity, the two of them want to fire a shot. I didn't expect to be captured by a camera in the conference room today, which is embarrassing for the whole province. Meixiang returned home, feeling extremely frightened at first. After much contemplation, he was no longer so afraid. He had control over Ho Jinlai's savings and his tricks. Ho Jinlai was really going too far. Meixiang exposed his scandal, enough for Ho Jinlai to drink. Divorce is possible. Give yourself half of your family's savings, take the money, go wherever you want, and be with whom you want. Make up your mind, Meixiang has calmed down. Mao Rongrong rode his motorcycle all the way to Ho Jinlai's yard. When Meixiang saw Mao Rongrong, she quickly stood up and opened the door, saying, "Secretary Mao, you're here." Mao Rongrong's face was gloomy. Meixiang, why are you so confused? Doing that kind of thing in the village office. I am a village official from Hujiazhuang, and the town secretary caught me and criticized me a lot. Sorry, Secretary Mao. Meixiang buzzed like a mosquito. Sigh. What should I say to you? It was Ho Dongkue who insisted on it. Stop talking, the provincial leaders have all seen it. Mother dogs don't wave, male dogs don't go up. Meixiang hung her head and said, Secretary Mao, what do you think of this matter? Don't let Ho Jin know. Ho Jin knows if it's your family business. I'll inform you that the town has conducted research and your women's director and 3 group leaders have been dismissed. Just dismiss me, it doesn't matter. You don't mind, the village is chaotic, and Hujiazhuang has become the laughing stock of the whole province. Secretary Mao, should I write an inspection? There's no need to write about the inspection. To be honest, you and Ho Jinlai have a family relationship, and according to regulations, they cannot both be in the village committee. I can tell you how long you can keep it hidden. Thank you, Secretary Mao. Thank you, Secretary Mao. At that time, there was no small video such as TikTok, and the network communication was not developed. If it were more than 10 years later, it would definitely be popular. Mao Rongrong got on his motorcycle and walked away with a whirring sound. Meixiang felt lonely for a moment. She didn't feel satisfied just now and felt uncomfortable all over. She remembers that after the meeting ended, Ho Dongkue immediately turned off the camera. When the two of them were working, why did they turn it on again? Also, the curtains were pulled tightly by oneself. Later, I saw that there was a gap in the curtains, and the switch was under the window. Did someone intentionally open it? Hurry up and call Ho Dongkue. Chapter 4. Brother's Thoughts. You are listening at novelfull.audio. Meixiang called Ho Dongkue and expressed her doubts. Ho Dongkue was just nervous. When Meixiang reminded him, he remembered that he must have turned off the camera. Who turned on the camera again? It was a village cadre who intentionally opened the door and filtered it out one by one, knowing that the two of them were going to work inside. They felt that neither of them had the courage to do this. Meixiang, you can inquire in the village and see who did it. I can't spare him. How dare I inquire? You don't know how to ask indirectly. Where are you going? Just now, Secretary Mao from the town came and masturbated my women's director and team leader. She called me and my village chief also masturbated. I'll go out for a while to see if there's a suitable job to do first. Take me with you, I'll go with you. Ho Dongkue was taken aback in his heart. This woman can play, but he really dares not. There are 2 children in the family now, and the older one is in junior high school. How can he elope with a seductive woman? Moreover, he is the wife of the village branch secretary, and his childhood background is not serious. If he really wants to elope, he will never come back to Hujiazwang, and his two sons will never recognize him as their father when they grow up. With a smile, he said, Meixiang, don't worry, just deal with it at home for now. Apart from the leaders in the county and town, the rest of the village doesn't know about this. Ho Jinlai is famous in the county, and who would be idle? Take the initiative to tell him about this. When the situation calms down, I will find a suitable job outside, earn money, and pick you up. Humph, you're a jerk, not a man. Ding Shaowu was dragged into the house by his sister. Law, washed his body, returned to his room, tidied up the mess, and then picked up a book to look at. Today is really frustrating. First, I ran into Meixiang and Ho Dongkue in a dirty business, and then I had a fight with Niu Feifei. Time flies, no longer submissive, calm down. The sky is gradually getting dark. My sister. Law is busy in the kitchen, while my brother is making a fire. After a while, sister. Law Wang Xiaoming lifted the door curtain and said, Shaowu, it's time for dinner. Still wearing big shorts and a vest. Come out and see a pot of fragrant chicken on the table. Sister-in-law, did you kill the chicken today? Yes, kill the chicken that often goes to Niu Feifei's house. The chicken is laying eggs, it's a pity to kill them. Kill Xinjing and never get angry with Niu Feifei again in the future. Sister-in-law, you don't have to be afraid. In the future, with me, if she dares to curse again, I will use cow dung to stuff her mouth. Ding Dao said on the side, Shaowu, as a big man, you cannot have the same views as women, which makes people laugh. She pointed at her sister. Law's nose and cursed at our doorstep. You can listen, I can't listen, don't think you're a woman. Women don't fix things, they stare up at you. Wang Xiaoming glanced gratefully at Ding Shaowu. She and Ding Dao are in a free love relationship. Previously, Ding Dao was powerful, tall and handsome. After the car accident, he changed like a different person. Several times he said he wanted to divorce her, but Wang Xiaoming didn't think about it. It's just that she used to love this man too much and couldn't make up her mind for a while. After Ding Shaowu returned, she saw his former shadow, especially when he was wearing big shorts and half-naked, masculine and handsome. From afar, she could feel the impact of men's hormone breath, only feeling his heart trembling. Let's eat, just ignore her in the future. Wang Xiaoming handed Ding Shaowu a chicken leg. Sister-in-law, you eat. The food at school is definitely not as delicious as at home. Eat more and be strong. Hurry up and bring me a younger brother's wife. Sister-in-law, when our conditions are good and we build a building, I will find a wife. My older brother interrupted his studies in order to support him, and in recent years, he was able to graduate thanks to his brother's financial support. As his sister. Law, Ding Dao gave Ding Shaowu money and went to the county town to pick him up during his vacation. He also had a car accident. Wang Xiaoming didn't say anything, and his sister. Law was like his mother. Ding Shaowu spoke the truth. Then it's time for the monkey year and the horse month. My sister. Law has saved up a lot of money in recent years. If you have a partner, my sister. Law will pay you the down payment for buying a house in the county town. Brother, sister. Law, don't worry, no one in the village dares to bully us in the future. I still want you to live a good life. In one sentence, Wang Xiaoming's eyes were moist. He said, having a younger brother is enough. Shaowu, we have wine at home. How many drinks do you have with your brother? My sister. Law also drinks. As long as you two brothers are happy, I'll have 2 drinks with you. Wang Xiaoming took out a bottle of wine from inside, which was left over from entertaining guests during the spring festival. Open and pour a few cups. Ding Dao picked it up and drank it. Shaowu, come on, sister. Law will accompany you to a drink. Picking up the cup and touching the wine with Wang Xiaomeng, I accidentally rubbed against her tender white arm, smooth and delicate, like silk. Wang Xiaomeng's face turned slightly red and she quickly covered it with a glass of wine. After drinking a few glasses, Wang Xiaomeng said, "You guys, drink it. I'll go and order some noodles. The noodles are mixed in chicken soup and taste great." Wang Xiaomeng got up and went to the kitchen. Seeing Ding Dao feeling unhappy, he said, "Brother, should we both do some boxing? What kind of punches are you drawing? It's late at night, and even a few families can hear you. Just drink a few." Ding Dao took the initiative to clink glasses with Ding Shaowu. "Then drink under your breath." Ding Dao was worried that Niu Feifei would continue to curse and cause trouble in the future. The second one was that he had been harboring thoughts for 2 years. He wanted to divorce Wang Xiaomeng and let her move on to another family, but Wang Xiaomeng disagreed. If one's own place is abandoned, rural people will always have descendants, otherwise they will be bullied even more when they grow old. There are now those who want to do IVF, but it will cost tens of thousands and may not be possible yet. With tens of thousands of yuan, he could build a building in the village. He didn't have that much money, so he thought of this younger brother. He was handsome and intelligent. If Wang Xiaomeng and his younger brother had offspring, the older brother would be willing to raise him. He just couldn't speak up and had a few drinks tonight. With the help of the alcohol, he wanted to make things clear and just asked his brother for help. "Shaowu, come on, have another drink." "Brother, your body, can you drink too much? A bottle of wine is almost finished." "It's okay, brother is happy today." After drinking, there's still something under your sister-in-law's bed. After drinking a few more glasses, Ding Dao's face turned red and he lit a cigarette, exhaling a mouthful of smoke. "Shaowu, what do you think of your sister-in-law?" "Hello sister-in-law, the village flower from 10 miles and 8 villages. Marrying your brother is your blessing. Diligent and reasonable. Is your sister-in-law beautiful?" "Brother, you've been drinking too much. My sister-in-law is a village flower, why isn't she beautiful? She's just sitting in a big city now, chasing young people in rows." Ding Dao smiled awkwardly and said, "Your sister-in-law married me, it's difficult for her." "Brother, don't worry, I graduated and our family's life will get better and better." "Brother didn't mean that. Do you know why he hasn't had children for several years? It's for me to go to school, and you can have children when I graduate. I did think so when I got married, but not now." "What's wrong, brother? Is it sister-in-law?" "Hey, it's not your sister-in-law, it's me." "I can't do it," Ding Dao said, a clear tear slowly flowing down his dark face. Chapter 5. Peeping. You are listening at novelfull.audio. Wang Xiaomeng came in with cooked noodles, and Ding Dao quickly pretended to smoke, covering his teary face with his hand and taking the opportunity to wipe it off. Pour the noodles into a bowl with chicken soup and stir a few times with chopsticks. Seeing that there was still wine in the bottle, Wang Xiaomeng said, "There's so much left. Shaowu, let's both have a drink." Pour the wine into a small bowl, one for Ding Shaowu and the other for himself. Today, Niu Feifei was so quiet that she was very happy. Although she usually doesn't drink, she has the urge to get drunk tonight. "Sister-in-law, you don't usually drink alcohol, it's okay, I'm happy today. Have a drink." After eating a few chopsticks of noodles, Wang Xiaomeng picked up a wine bowl and drank it crunchily. Ding Shaowu also dried the wine. Full of food and drink, Ding Dao is still smoking, and Wang Xiaomeng is tidying up the dishes. Ding Shaowu collected the bowls, brought them to the kitchen, and washed them. Wang Xiaomeng came in carrying a basin. "Shaowu, let me come." "Sister-in-law, please rest. I'll finish brushing in a while." She wanted to snatch the bowl from Ding Shaowu's hand, but as Ding Shaowu dodged, his arm collided with a soft ball. Wang Xiaoming no longer reluctantly brushes the pot on the stove. Ding Shaowu couldn't help but turn back and saw Wang Xiaoming wearing a floral apron around her waist, wriggling and scrubbing the pot table. Wang Xiaoming also stole a glance at Ding Shaowu. His back, figure, and aura were even taller and more powerful than Ding Dao a few years ago. Thinking of Ding Dao now, he often sighs at night, feeling a burst of sadness. Carrying the boiling water as he walked out, his drunkenness surged and he couldn't help but stumble. Suddenly, he tilted over Ding Shaowu at the door. Ding Shaowu quickly supported Wang Xiaoming's waist. "Sister-in-law, it must be that the alcohol is getting stronger. Go back to the room and sleep. I'll finish cleaning up in a while." Wang Xiaoming didn't move her body for a long time, just leaning against Ding Shaowu's broad chest. "I feel a bit dizzy," he whispered. Ding Shaowu took the basin filled with boiling water, supported her waist, and walked out. After taking a few steps, Wang Xiaoming broke free from Ding Shaowu and quickly walked back to the hall. "I don't want you to drink so much, I insist. If you drink too much, go to bed." Ding Dao complained. "I'm happy today. It's embarrassing to drink too much and I can't throw it into someone else's house." There was no movement in the main room. After tidying up the kitchen, Ding Shaowu rinsed his body with cold water in the yard and returned to his own room. He had just fallen asleep, with the buzzing sound of mosquitoes. "In my past life, I could tolerate the bites of these mosquitoes. In this life, when I hear the humming of mosquitoes, I can't sleep anymore. Get up and light a cigarette." There is a creaking sound in the opposite room. Ding Dao had a few drinks tonight and became interested. He climbed onto Wang Xiaoming's bed, but the place was still not in good spirits. He was disheartened and defeated. Wang Xiaoming couldn't help but sigh. Ding Dao seemed to have done something wrong and curled up in the corner of the wall. "Xiaoming, why don't we get divorced? Don't say it again, how many times have you said it? In the future, when you have money, go see a big hospital." Wang Xiaoming shed tears. This is caused by an external injury and difficult to treat. Now that the medical conditions are good, it will be cured. What if it can't be cured? As we get older, we must have a child. Where do you want your child like this? Ding Dao remained silent for a long time and finally mustered the courage. "Shaowu has returned. He doesn't have a partner yet. How about you and Shaowu?" Wang Xiaoming felt a ripple in her heart, but her mouth said, "Thank you for thinking about it." She twisted her body and gave Ding Dao a back. "Shaowu is a good brother. As long as you don't let outsiders know about anything between you, I will definitely not blame you. Stop talking, go to sleep." Ding Shaowu tossed and turned in bed, unable to sleep. He got up and tiptoed out towards the toilet. At that time, the house was a dry toilet, next to the main room. Arriving at the toilet, I splashed my waste water. Next door is the home of Niu Feifei. The exterior wall of Niu Feifei's kitchen is a partition between two families. The kitchen is an old-fashioned adobe house, and over time, there are cracks on the walls. There is light shining out from inside. What is Niu Feifei doing with the lights on when he doesn't sleep at this time? Stick your face against the crack and peek inside. I couldn't bear to see it anymore. I saw Niu Feifei scrubbing his body in a large bathtub. My body is really white, and under the illumination of the light bulb, there is a golden halo, like a Western oil painting of human bodies. Rich buttocks and pepper milk, with graceful curves. Niu Feifei washed carefully and made a strange sound in his mouth. Another long night. Resentful woman. The straight line distance with Niu Feifei is no more than 2 meters, within reach. It turned out that the shrew had such a beautiful figure, and when I remembered being rude to her in the afternoon, a hint of guilt surged in my heart. Such a beautiful woman should be favored by men, and men hurt her. I choked my neck and swallowed saliva. Feeling really creepy, still a college student, I put on my pants and prepared to walk outside. Suddenly, I heard footsteps. Ding Shaowu coughed lightly. At that time, there was only a toilet in the farmer's house. Anyone inside would cough when they heard someone preparing to come in, reminding them that there was someone inside to avoid embarrassment. The people outside heard something moving inside, so they quickly turned back and waited. I don't know if the people outside the toilet have heard me. Anyway, Niu Feifei, who was taking a shower, heard it and determined that the person coughing was Ding Shaowu. Glancing at the crack in the wall, the ghost couldn't help but smile. You, Ding Shaowu, dare to hit me today and see how I will deal with you in the future. She not only didn't protect her body, but also scratched her head and made a fuss. You peep, I'll let you see enough, make you unable to sleep, let you come over my mother's wall, then, humph. Don't blame me, Niu Feifei, for turning around and not recognizing anyone. Aren't you a college student? I'll have you go through labor reform for a few years. Don't you want to take the civil service exam and become an official? Bah, dream it. Chapter 6. Stuff. You are listening at novelfull.audio. Ding Shaowu came out of the toilet and saw a person standing in the yard. It was his sister. Law Wang Xiaomeng, with her back facing him. Under the dim moonlight, her hair was as long as a waterfall, and she wore a coat on her upper body. Her straight and slender thighs were exposed below. The moon is hazy, the legs are hazy, and the person is hazy. With classical intelligence, facing the moonlight, it seems like reciting. I hope people will last for a long time and share the same beauty for thousands of miles. Ding Shaowu dared not take a closer look and hurriedly fled back to his room. Upon hearing the door ring, Wang Xiaomeng knew that Ding Shaowu had returned. Entering the restroom, singing a loud song, wrapping oneself in a coat, and preparing to go back. Before, Ding Shaowu was not at home. She was always naked and hurriedly ran into the restroom, then rushed back. Tonight, she had a few glasses of wine, drank more water, and after Ding Do's ups and downs, it was not satisfactory. The place naturally swelled and she came out wearing a piece of clothing, but unexpectedly ran into Ding Shaowu in the restroom. Men are fast in the restroom, and Ding Shaowu has been inside for a long time. What is he doing? Seeing the light leaking from Niu Feifei's kitchen, Wang Xiaomeng looked through the crack and saw that Niu Feifei was making waves. Although he was a woman, he couldn't open his eyes. No wonder Ding Shaowu hasn't come out of the restroom, it turns out he's watching Western scenery. This widow is so naughty. Today, Ding Shaowu should give her a few more slaps. Suddenly, she felt something was wrong. Is Niu Feifei intentionally seducing Ding Shaowu? Brother is young, with a burst of hormones. If one day he can't control himself and jumps into Niu Feifei's house, will Niu Feifei be willing? Still unwilling. Or is it half done and half done? In short, if Ding Shaowu jumps into Niu Feifei's house and the two of them fall in love, Ding Shaowu is a young man with a blue head. How can he find a wife in the future? If falsely accused by Niu Feifei, Shaowu's life will be over. What a cunning woman. Thinking of this, Wang Xiaomeng grabbed a handful of wet soil from the ground, blocked the crack in the wall, and then spat out a mouthful. In the morning, Wang Xiaomeng got up early, prepared breakfast, and the three of them finished. Ding Dao said, "We still need to fertilize the corn fields. Your sister Law and I have gone. You should review your homework at home. Brother, I'll go see if Ho Jin has come back. I'll hand over my organizational relationship to him, and I'll also go to the field later. Okay, your sister Law and I will go first." Ding Dao put the fertilizer bag on the cart, took the shovel, and went to the responsible field with Wang Xiaomeng. In fact, it doesn't matter if the organizational relationship is transferred to the village branch day in and day out. Yesterday afternoon, I caught the camera on 2 dog men and women, it will definitely spread out. I don't know what kind of reaction the superiors will have when they see such filth. Walking to the village committee, the door was locked and there was no one around. Walking towards Ho Jinlai's house again. Ho Jinlai's home is not far from the village committee. That used to be a piece of wasteland, over an acre in size. Ho Jin took advantage of his position and took the land as his own, built buildings on it, and the courtyard was swollen with flowers and plants, more imposing than the villas in the city. Ho Jinlai's vermilion door was closed, and he stepped forward to pat the door. For a long time, a soft and slightly magnetic voice came out inside. Who is it? Is Ho Shuji at home? Not here. Ding Shaowu was ready to leave when the vermilion gate opened, revealing a large wavy head with a face like a full moon, a nose like a hanging gallbladder, fiery red lips, and dark eyebrows and almond eyes. Such attire is not commonly seen in rural areas. It must be Meixiang, the second wife of Ho Jinlai. Yesterday, outside the window of the village room, I only saw the back of Meixiang and the trembling waves, but I didn't see her face. At this moment, I couldn't help but feel a little heartbroken. No wonder Ho Dongkue was so eager to exercise on the chair as soon as the meeting ended. Ding Shaowu has been studying outside, and Meixiang doesn't know him. Seeing a handsome young man standing at the door, Meixiang opened the door slightly and said, "Are you looking for Lao Ho?" "Yes, I'm Ding Shaowu from the village. I came to find him to transfer the organization relationship." Meixiang rolled her big eyes and knew he was a college student from the village. She said, "Come in, maybe he'll be back in a while." Ding Shaowu has never been to Ho Jinlai's house, and he also wants to know if his superiors know about their affairs in the village office. Just follow Meixiang inside. As soon as she entered, Meixiang closed the door behind her, and of course, it automatically locked. The yard is filled with a strong aroma, with huge tall rose flowers in full bloom and triangular plum blossoms in vibrant colors. Looking at Meixiang again, Ding Shaowu was startled. Meixiang was wearing a pink nightgown, probably just after waking up, with her two plump buttocks separated and her waist slender. A pair of plump eggplants trembled and seemed to jump out of it. Meixiang has a tall and slender figure, at least 1.68 meters tall. Such a woman is more than a man. Ho Jinlai's small body is at most 1.65 meters tall. Can he serve this wolf-like tiger woman? "Sister-in-law, are these all what you planted?" "Yeah, before I came, although this yard was spacious, it was like a pig's nest. Ho Jinlai was not at home all day, and I was lonely, just tending to these flowers and plants. My sister-in-law is really thoughtful. With your rectification, Secretary Ho's family seems like a fairyland on earth." "What is Secretary Ho's house?" "This is my home." "Yes, my sister-in-law's house. Look at my clumsy mouth." After you came to Ho family village, the village suddenly became much brighter, and Secretary Ho seemed to be more than 10 years younger. "Really? College student speech is different." "There is no difference between college students and farmers nowadays. The government no longer guarantees distribution, and when they return to their hometown, they may not even be as good as a farmer. Farmers have a few acres of responsible land and can earn thousands of yuan a year. Those who go out to work have learned a skill and earn thousands of yuan a month. College students lack skills, strength, and ambition, making it difficult to find a job with a monthly salary of 2,000 yuan. Are you planning to stay in the village all along? First, turn back the organizational relationship and see the situation later." Entering the room, there was a huge god of wealth in the middle, with a photo of Meixiang hanging on the wall. The photo was taken well, and Meixiang looked like a big star from Hong Kong and Taiwan, but more voluptuous and enchanting than a big star. Not seeing me, just these photos, the man's body is scorching hot when he sees them. "Sister-in-law is so beautiful." Ding Shaowu couldn't help but slip out of his mouth with a sincere sigh. "Is that right? Wang Xiaoming's face was like peach blossoms, and her eyes were hot and seductive. I took a cup of boiling water from the water dispenser. Bring it to Ding Shaowu. Ding Shaowu sat on the sofa, his plump eggplants surging like waves, ready to devour him. I unconsciously leaned back, feeling a strong sense of oppression and suffocation. Meixiang didn't leave immediately and shook her plump body in front of Ding Shaowu, saying, "Drink it first, I'll make tea for you." "Don't be busy, sister. Law. Just plain water will do. Ho Jinlai has good tea leaves, which are said to cost thousands of yuan per kilogram. You can try them." Meixiang's body really pressed down as she picked up the tea leaves behind Ding Shaowu. A strong aroma of jasmine surrounded her, and the plump eggplant almost hit his face. "Stick out your tongue and you will definitely be able to touch the soft and fragrant aroma." Chapter 7. Meixiang. You are listening at Novel Full. Audio. Meixiang took the tea box behind Ding Shaowu's hair, suddenly swaying her body and pressing her hand on the root of Ding Shaowu's thigh. Ding Shaowu was startled and quickly grabbed the plump figure that was about to fall on him. I didn't want to panic, but my palms dragged into a soft ball. That feeling is like rubbing on freshly made white face. It was awkward for a moment. "Sorry, sister. Law. Ha ha ha. Brothers are still young, right? Didn't they talk about a girlfriend in college?" No, talking about girlfriends is very expensive." Meixiang stood up and looked up and down at Ding Shaowu with seductive eyes. "Brother, this is your fault. With your physique and face, you must have pursued a lot. During college, how much money can you spend? It's all for nothing. A bowl of stewed noodles can coax a little girl to bed, and maybe she will pay back. After a few years, you can still earn money by playing for nothing. Didn't that harm the girl?" "Brother, it's really real. It's not about harming a girl, it's about giving her a perfect youth and unforgettable memories." "Has my sister. Law attended college?" "I have never attended college, but I have seen a female college student who did that. Definitely impersonating college students. Universities are ivory towers, pure and pure. Hi, my brother's years of youth have been wasted, and there must be a lot of work to do. When my sister. Law has the time, I will slowly enlighten you." The water in the water heater boiled again, and Meixiang skillfully brewed tea leaves, washed them, boiled the cups, and then drizzled the tea soup. Suddenly, she looked like a lady again. The versatile witch. "Brother, sit this way," Meixiang called from behind the tea table. After talking to Ho Dongkue last night, she inquired indirectly and someone saw that Ding Shaowu had gone to the village committee. She suspected that Ding Shaowu had turned on the camera. I was originally very angry, but seeing Ding Shaowu as a talented person with a strong physique, my heart couldn't help but flutter. At that time, he couldn't find the switch to turn on the video, and the people in the village still didn't know. If she had to slowly trap Ding Shaowu, if it were really this kid who did it, she wouldn't have spared him. If it weren't for him, gradually cultivated in the future. Ho Dongkue is as timid as a mouse and doesn't look like a man. A video scared him away. Ho Jin is not good at that. How will he live in the village in the future? Without Ho Dongkue, if we coax this kid to bed, the days ahead will be even more exciting. It's a blessing in disguise. This kid is younger than Ho Dongkue, more handsome than Ho Dongkue, and still a college student. Thinking about it makes his mouth water. Ding Shaowu sat in front of the tea table. Meixiang sat down, and the collar of her pajamas unconsciously opened. Less than a meter away, deep ravines and abrupt peaks were visible. Meixiang picked up a teacup with tweezers, which was not much larger than a wine glass, and placed it in front of Ding Shaowu. The strong aroma of tea filled her nose, making her look like a top-tier Jin Junmei. "Are you a party member?" "Yes. Being able to join the Communist Party at school is amazing. I am a student union cadre, so I joined the party. Hello party members, there are dozens of party members in the village, many of whom are demobilized soldiers from the army. They either work outside or are in their 70s or 80s. You have returned just in time, and now everything needs to be transmitted on the computer. Party members don't know how to use the computer, so it's difficult to report information to the town. In the future, if the village needs to submit materials and needs to implement traceability management, you will do it. Sister-in-law, aren't you also at the village committee? You must understand computers. I'm not a party member. Besides, as a village committee member, including the women's director and the leaders of the 3 groups, I'm not working anymore. Meixiang said, raising her big eyes and staring at Ding Shaowu, observing his reaction. My sister-in-law is doing well, why not do it? Ding Shaowu's face remained calm, unable to see anything at all. Although the largest official in the previous life was the deputy mayor, he also experienced the basic skills of officialdom, such as keeping calm when Mount Taishan collapsed in front of him and keeping his appearance unchanged when the Milu deer flourished on the left. The town said that Ho Jinlai and I are a couple. He serves as the branch secretary, and we are direct relatives. Only one person can serve in the village committee. It's a pity that my sister-in-law is not a cadre. Who will do the women's work in the village in the future? Also, our 3 groups have a lot of mixed surnames, which is difficult to manage. I don't care about the village affairs. The village committee is concerned about them. Brother, did you go to the village office yesterday afternoon? Meixiang leaned her head and said casually. Oh, I went there. Halfway down the street, I saw an old party member coming out of the village. They said Secretary Ho was not there, so I came back. When I got home, I happened to see Niu Feifei cursing at my doorstep. As soon as I heard the melon seeds, she held it back. Meixiang deliberately sneered and said, looking at you being polite and aggressive, I heard you're going to use cow dung to stuff the mouth of a flying cow. That's what's going on. The village shrew, who is not filial to her parents-in-law, criticizes others, and causes trouble, must be treated with this method. Niu Feifei is fierce, and I slapped her in the face. Even now, she hasn't dared to open the door, let alone curse the streets. There are several women in the village who are not filial to their parents-in-law and often scold the street. In the future, it's up to you. You shovel a pile of cow dung and sway it on the street, see who dares to be arrogant. Forget it. I'm just coming back temporarily, and when I find a job, I'll leave the village. I don't want to see those unreasonable women on the same page. You are a party member and will often come to visit in the future. You are in your 50s and won't be able to work for many years. In fact, it's quite interesting to work well in the countryside. After becoming a good branch secretary, I heard that you can directly promote the deputy township head. You can also follow this path. I can't do a good job in the village. I can do a good job as a branch secretary or even as a provincial governor. There were no people in Hujiazwang who were more capable than Secretary Ho before, and there won't be anyone in the next 30 years. To flatter someone, no one would say that they don't spend money or pay taxes. In his rebirth, Ding Shaowu summarized the lessons of his previous life. Being in the officialdom, he couldn't flatter or flatter others. He was too straightforward and had a narrow-mindedness, so he never received much attention. Do you think your brother is so skilled? But Lao Ho has his own strengths. He talks to people and ghosts, which can confuse people. As a yellow flower girl, I was not deceived by him into coming to the small village of Ho Family Village, where ghosts don't defecate. You will come often in the future. Your brother's knowledge is shallow, and he really has a set of tricks to play with people. You are good at learning, and it will be useful in the future. Ding Shaowu laughed in his heart. You are the daughter of Huanghua, and I'm afraid that if Huanghua rapeseed is scattered in the field, it will flourish and wither for a few generations. Seeing that it was getting late, he had to go to the responsible field to help his elder brother and sister-in-law apply fertilizer. He said, "Sister-in-law, I won't talk to you anymore. I'll come back when Secretary Ho comes back." Meixiang stood up reluctantly. She didn't have all the fun yesterday afternoon and didn't sleep well all night. She really wanted to have a good time with this kid now and water the semi-moist fields well. But the first time we met, we suspected that he had tampered after the video conference, so we suppressed the burning fire. "Brother, I reckon your brother will be back tonight. I'll keep the door for you and you'll come over later." Meixiang called Ho Jinlai this morning and asked when he would be back. Ho Jin said he can't be the master himself, probably in a few more days. According to Ho Jinlai's tone, he definitely didn't know what happened yesterday afternoon, so he dared to flirt with Ding Shaowu. "Let's talk about it tonight." Ding Shaowu walked outside, and Meixiang grabbed her and said, "As promised, I'll definitely come over. Ho Jinlai always comes back with good cigarettes and wine. I'll prepare some dishes, and you guys have a few drinks." As he spoke, he grabbed Ding Shaowu's arm and swayed back and forth like a girl, along with the chubby pair that almost brushed Ding Shaowu's arms out of flames. Chapter 8. Difficult Things to Speak of. You are listening at novelfull.audio. As she walked to the main entrance, Meixiang opened the door and looked out. She saw no one on the street, so she twisted Ding Shaowu's sturdy buttocks and said, "You must come tonight, sister-in-law is waiting for you." Ding Shaowu flashed out of the door. Back home, put the organization introduction letter away, put on trousers, long-sleeved shirt and shoes, take a shovel, and come to your own responsibility field. As corn grows taller, it is about to sprout and grow corn whiskers. Pursuing fertilizer at this time can fill the corn cob and achieve the maximum harvest. Most of the corn in other households has been fertilized. Brother's legs are not strong, fertilization is slow, and there are more than 2 acres of corn that have not been fertilized. My elder brother and sister-in-law have already reached the middle of the responsibility field and cannot see the specific location clearly. Following the fresh soil marks, they walked to the middle of the responsibility field and saw my older brother digging soil one by one next to the corn trees. After digging out the soil, my sister-in-law quickly threw the fertilizer into the newly dug pit, and my older brother covered it with soil. Ding Dao has a problem with his legs and digging the soil is very difficult. "Brother, take a break while I dig the soil. Let your sister-in-law rest, you dig the soil and I fertilize it," Ding Dao said. "It's also okay." Ding Dao took the basin containing fertilizer from Wang Xiaomeng's hand. Ding Shaowu pouted his butt and dug the soil one by one, twice as fast as his brother. The sister-in-law straightened up and wiped the sweat off her face with a towel, saying, "Shaowu, have Ho Jin come back yet?" "No, I went to attract investment with the mayor. I don't know when I can come back." Wang Xiaomeng glanced suspiciously at Ding Shaowu. "Ho Jin was not at home, why did you take so long to come over?" After some thought, she didn't ask. Ding Shaowu dug quickly, Ding Dao threw fertilizer quickly. In no time, he arrived at the other end of the field and turned back. Seeing his sister-in-law in the middle of the field, he brought over a basin of fertilizer. "Brother, if you're tired, take a break. It's probably going to rain, my legs are a bit sore. Then you can rest." After Ding Dao's injury is healed, whenever it's cloudy or rainy, his thighs will ache. At noon, over an acre of fertilizer was applied. 3 people are resting on the ground. Wang Xiaomeng said, "If it rains today, we won't be able to get into the field for several days. In a few more days, the corn will grow taller and we won't be able to apply evolutionary fertilizer. Why don't you go back and cook, sister-in-law? My brother and I will continue to fertilize and try to sprinkle all the remaining corn with fertilizer before it rains." "Okay, don't worry, take your time. Your brother's legs are not doing well, you can do as much as you can." "Okay." Wang Xiaomeng has gone home. Ding Dao was sitting under a tree smoking. Last night, he wanted to talk to Ding Shaowu about borrowing seeds when Wang Xiaomeng entered the room. I want to say it now, but I can't open my mouth. Brother, give me a cigarette. Ding Dao threw the cigarette box and lighter in front of him. I took out a puff and just took a puff, coughing profusely. This is the worst quality cigarette in the store, with a spicy taste. If you don't know how to inhale, don't inhale. Brother, can you smoke this cigarette? I'm used to it. Poor quality cigarettes are not good for the lungs, so smoke less in the future. It's okay, brother, that's all for now. Looking at his brother, who was already wrinkled and had a weathered face before the age of 30, Ding Shaowu felt a pang of sadness in his heart. After his parents died, his older brother focused solely on his own mountain, interrupted his studies, and trained him to become a college student. In order to go to the county town to pick him up and go home, there was a car accident on the way. People of the same age as him, their children are all 5 or 6 years old. Ding Shaowu secretly swore that in the future, he would make his brother smoke the best cigarettes, drink the best wine, buy the best clothes and cosmetics for his sister-in-law, and even build a magnificent building like Ho Jinlai's. Shaowu, have you made friends at school yet? No. You're in your 20s, it's time to make friends. With so many girls in school, there's not a single one you like. Of course there's something I like. With this condition, it's better not to talk about it. Follow me through the hardships and hardships. Alas, it's all your brother's fault. If I were in good health and went out to work, I could earn 10 or 20,000 yuan a year. Ding Dao said sorrowfully, as if it was his own fault that his younger brother didn't talk about girlfriends. Brother, it's not too late to talk about it when I make money in the future. Hurry up and talk about suitable ones. The older you get, the fewer you meet suitable ones. By the age of 20.8 or 20.9, you won't be able to get married. Brother, you don't know that in big cities, there are over 30 unmarried girls in big cities, one after another. We don't want what others don't want either. Don't look at our poor family. Our brothers stand in front of others and are first-class talents. When looking for a partner, the standards cannot be lowered. Brother, older girls in big cities don't have to be unmarried, they have a high vision. They need to have a house, a car, an education, and they also need to look flashy. Anyway, older people are not suitable. Big cities are open, and who knows what they have done before. If you want to find someone like your sister-in-law, beautiful, virtuous, and reasonable. Ding Dao wanted to slowly bring the topic to the matter of borrowing seeds, but he couldn't get to the main point. Only you can find someone like my sister-in-law, I don't have that ability. Alas, Ding Dao originally intended to say that the delicious food is dumplings, and the fun is sister-in-law. If you take a liking to your sister-in-law, even though. But when it comes to words, it turns into a sigh. Between my brothers, I really can't say this. After finishing a cigarette, Ding Shaowu said, Brother, please rest, I'll do it first. Don't worry, you can go up as much as you can today. Sitting under the tree without moving, he was considering how to tell his brother about that. Ding Shaowu picked up the shovel, went to the field, dug back and forth in one breath, and then spread fertilizer with a fertilizer pot. After the fertilizer was spread, he pushed the excavated soil in with his feet. It's stuffy in the cornfield, so I decided to take off my shirt and continue fertilizing. Wang Xiaomeng came with a basket and a plastic bucket. Seeing Ding Dao smoking in the field and Ding Shaowu fertilizing alone, he complained, Why do you let Shaowu work alone? My leg hurts and I don't want to do it, Ding Dao said rudely. Wang Xiaomeng gave him a glare and called out to the faint shadow in the field, Shaowu, come out to eat. Okay, sister-in-law, we'll be on the ground soon. Ding Shaowu dug up the thief quickly and soon arrived at his sister-in-law's side. His upper body remained naked, and sweat soaked down his sturdy spine all the way to the waist of his pants. Looking at the body of a bodybuilder, the sweat on his body seemed to be coated with a layer of oil paint. Wang Xiaomeng's eyes straightened. For a moment, he took a towel from his shoulder and handed it to Ding Shaowu, saying, "Wipe your body and eat." Wang Xiaomeng's fiery gaze caught Ding Dao's eye, and this kind of radiance was something that Wang Xiaomeng had experienced when they were in love. He took the towel, wiped his body at random, and opened the bucket. It was his favorite lo mein, wide and thick, he said forcefully. In the basket are mantou and peanut chili sauce, which are his favorite food. Wang Xiaomeng served a large bowl of noodles and handed it to Ding Shaowu. Ding Shaowu took it and handed it to his brother. Ding Shaowu ate 2 bowls of noodles, 2 mantou with chili sauce, and then drank a bowl of cold water. "It's really refreshing." Ding Dao ate a bowl of noodles, wiped his mouth, and said, "Are you still eating?" "I have eaten well," said Wang Xiaomeng. "I have eaten well too." Ding Dao gathered the leftover noodles and mantou together, picked up the basket and said, "My leg hurts, so I'll go back first." "You too can go back after you finish the fertilizer." Wang Xiaomeng looked at Ding Dao's distant figure with dissatisfaction. This guy, why is he so blunt in his speech? It's never been before. In fact, Ding Dao has his own plan. As tall as a person in the cornfield, if his sister-in-law and uncle are inside, it will definitely get hot. If the two of them have that matter, it will hit his chest, so as not to speak out awkwardly. Chapter 9. In the Cornfield. You are listening at novelfull.audio. Ding Dao walked away and Wang Xiaomeng said, "Your brother seems to have eaten explosives these past few days. He has poor health and unstable temper, so his sister-in-law should take more care of him." Wang Xiaomeng sighed and said, "Your brother always wants to drive me away from the Ding family." Ding Shaowu was taken aback for a moment. If such a good sister-in-law really left, he would definitely think to himself, "Sister-in-law, when I make money, let me take good care of my health. You must not leave. If you leave, my temper will become increasingly strange and I will be useless." A warm current surged in my heart. This brother cares about himself and has not raised him in vain in recent years. "Shaowu, if sister-in-law really leaves, will you miss me?" "Of course I will." Wang Xiaomeng's face turned slightly red. "Sister-in-law, you're still resting. Before it gets dark, I'm sure I can finish putting on the fertilizer." "That's okay, you didn't see the clouds coming up. It's raining today, and once it rains, we won't be able to do anything. You dig a pit, I fertilize, and the two of us hurry up." What Wang Xiaomeng said is reasonable. Ding Shaowu picked up the shovel and dug under the corn. Wang Xiaomeng threw fertilizer into the soil pit. Ding Shaowu dug quickly, Wang Xiaomeng threw quickly, and the two cooperated very well. In the middle of the field, it became increasingly stuffy. Ding Shaowu took off the shirt he had just put on and draped it over the corn stalks. Wang Xiaomeng's button on her chest loosened at some point. When she bent down to fertilize, she could clearly see the scenery inside. Compared to seeing cows flying last night, her sister-in-law's was larger and rounder. Rural women do not have the habit of wearing masks, which can be easily seen from Ding Shaowu's perspective. In rural areas, married women don't even care about the lights going out there. On the streets, women often lift their clothes, not shy away from the men and women in front of them, and have big breasts. Is sister-in-law used to it, or is she intentionally showing her baby in front of her brothers today? Ding Shaowu glanced at that place, quickly withdrew his gaze, and within 2 minutes, he turned his gaze back towards it. Never tire of watching, it's so beautiful. Ding Shaowu's constantly drifting and flickering gaze made Wang Xiaomeng see clearly. Remembering Ding Dao's words last night, her heart skipped like a little rabbit. Ding Dao said those words, thinking he had drunk too much and was talking nonsense. Just now, Ding Dao angrily went back, probably deliberately leaving room for love between the two. If you really want to have an affair with this kid, having a child would definitely be beautiful and handsome like the two brothers. How happy it is for two men to spoil one woman. But this goes against human ethics. If someone finds out, how will they live in the village in the future? The flag of the heart ripples and is extremely contradictory. If I am willing, is this kid willing? The relationship between the two brothers is very deep. It doesn't work with Ding Dao, only the couple knows. After a few years of not being happy, the villagers all think it's her fault, Wang Xiaomeng. Otherwise, yesterday Niu Feifei wouldn't have scolded her so harshly, calling her a chicken that doesn't lay eggs. Thinking of the crack in the wall of Niu Feifei's house last night, Wang Xiaomeng became worried again. If Ding Shaowu really climbed over the wall and entered Niu Feifei's house, he would be falsely accused by that shrew and his life would be over. Instead of that, it's better to give him his own body, so that he won't be anxious all day and want to crawl through the cracks in the wall. Shaowu. Is Niu Feifei beautiful? Is she beautiful or not? She's a shrew. A shrew is also a woman, and all women need it. If one day she seduces you, will you fall for it? Niu Feifei hates me so much that he will seduce me. What I'm saying is if. If that's the case, I'll catch her and clean up well, make her scream, and vent my anger on my sister. Law, Ding Shaowu said with a smile. She really wants you to make her scream. I see you're very dangerous. When Niu Feifei seduces you, she will go on. If she uses the beauty trap to frame you, your whole life will be over. Sister-in-law, am I just joking? I won't fall for it. I see that your words are deceiving you, you are thinking about Niu Feifei's body. I wouldn't miss her. I wish I could use cow dung to paste her up. Shaowu, to be honest with my sister. Law, did you sneak a peek at Niu Feifei's bath in the crack in the wall last night? Ding Shaowu's face immediately turned red. The flattery and humiliation he received from his past life were of no use. He peeped at women taking showers, which was the behavior of a small hooligan. As a college student, many people in the village educated his children and used him as an inspirational role model. If he were to be equated with a small hooligan, his reputation would collapse. In the future, how would the villagers think of him? If he wanted to enter politics and conduct political investigations in the village, he would definitely be brushed off. Sister-in-law, no, I don't, Ding Shaowu stuttered. Seeing his embarrassed expression, Wang Xiaomeng was both angry and pitiful. She was a newcomer and knew that it was terrifying for the big boy's desires to burst out. Shaowu, don't do this in the future. If you really can't stand it, tell your sister. Law, sister. Law. Wang Xiaomeng couldn't say the remaining words. Ding Shaowu was feeling ashamed. He thought his sister. Law would criticize him harshly, but I didn't expect her to say such things. I can't stand it. Can you help me solve this? Swallowed a mouthful of saliva, stopped speaking, and dug the soil faster. Wang Xiaomeng's heart pounded even more as she said that, afraid to look directly into his eyes. I silently went back and forth like this. Arriving at the field again, Wang Xiaomeng poured fertilizer into the basin. Then lift up the collar and wipe the sweat off the face. A circle of fair waist was revealed again, and Ding Shaowu quickly turned around and looked into the distance. Sister-in-law, you go back. My brother is at home and his leg must be hurting, he's just like that. He's had an old problem and will recover in a while. Shaowu, look at that dark cloud. It's really going to rain, let's hurry up. Sure enough, a large black cloud rolled over. Ding Shaowu grabbed the shovel and went into the corn field. Wang Xiaomeng ignored Wang Xiaomeng and kept digging. Wang Xiaomeng had to throw fertilizer into the pit and seal it with her feet. When there were only the last 2 rows left, there was a thunderstorm and a strong wind was blowing, causing the corn to almost collapse on the ground. He shouldered the shovel and shouted at Wang Xiaomeng, who was still fertilizing, sister.in.law, stop fertilizing and go back. Wang Xiaomeng looked at the sky. The soil pit that Ding Shaowu had just dug couldn't be used for evolutionary fertilizer. Okay, let's go home. Before he could finish speaking, a lightning bolt spread under his feet, rolling like a giant dragon, and then there was an explosion. The sound was right above his head, like exploding around his waist. Wang Xiaomeng's face turned pale in fear and she lay down in the cornfield with a loud cry. My sister.in.law was struck by lightning. Ding Shaowu quickly ran over, regardless of the situation, picked up Wang Xiaomeng and shouted loudly, sister-in-law, sister-in-law. His voice was filled with tears. Wang Xiaomeng trembled all over, her face pale, and hugged Ding Shaowu tightly. Chapter 10. You owe your sister.in.law. You are listening at novelfull.audio. There are raindrops falling. Wang Xiaomeng's whole body was icy cold. Ding Shaowu took off his coat and wrapped it for her. Shaowu, hide under the tree for a while. No, taking shelter under the big tree will result in lightning strikes. Let's hurry back. The shovel is no longer needed and is thrown into the cornfield. The sky is completely dark. Lightning kept tearing open the darkness. The weather is really strange. Ding Shaowu grew up in the countryside and has seen a lot of rain. Today's weather is different. The whole earth seems to have been swallowed up by monsters at any time. The two stumbled and ran towards the direction of the village. I dare not stay under the big tree, and there is no shelter from the rain in the bare fields. Wang Xiaomeng's hair was scattered, her clothes were disheveled, and she could hardly take a step. We must find a shelter from the rain as soon as possible. Lightning keeps exploding overhead, and the silver snake-like flames are at our feet and within reach. Shaowu, you go back first. I can't run anymore, Wang Xiaomeng said panting. Ding Shaowu was stunned for a moment before suddenly hugging her and running wildly. Passing through the fields and muddy paths, corn leaves constantly beat on the face and spine, causing a burning pain. Finally, I ran to a soil slope where there was a sunken soil groove dug out by the villagers. Shaowu, hide inside and rest for a while. I ran for several miles all the way, the road was muddy and very difficult. There is still a long way from home, and the lightning is even more intense. Raindrops are like plump beans hitting me. It's okay to take a break, avoid this flash of lightning and rain, and then head home. Put Wang Xiaomeng into the sunken soil hole, which is very shallow and less than 2 meters deep. The strong wind swirled and drilled into the dirt hole, leaving Wang Xiaomeng's body wet and her clothes sticking to her. Ding Shaowu dared not look directly at his sister.in.law and stood at the entrance of the cave, facing the darkness, letting the rain wash away. Shaowu, you go inside. It's raining too hard outside. It's okay, I just need to take a shower. In fact, he is shielding her from the wind and rain. Shaowu, go inside. There wasn't much space inside either, and Wang Xiaomeng's back was pressed against the cave wall. A warm lump on the back. He dared not turn back and stood like a sculpture, where rainwater still poured in. A few minutes passed like this, and suddenly there was a whimpering sound on the shoulders. Why are you crying? Wang Xiaomeng didn't answer and cried even harder. Ding Shaowu was at a loss and thought he had done something wrong, so he moved his body outward. But she hugged him, trying to keep him away from the rain. Wang Xiaomeng really cried. She was crying about her own fate and Ding Dao's fate. In those days, Ding Dao was so handsome, powerful and capable. When she first got married, sisters who didn't envy her for her good fortune. Sister-in-law, I will make our family live a good life in the future. Wang Xiaomeng cried even more fiercely. What is she crying about? The little boy in her crying arms is not familiar with charm. She has already taken the initiative and remained indifferent like a clay figurine. The rain outside has decreased slightly. Ding Shaowu said, "Sister-in-law, let's go back." Wang Xiaomeng wiped away the rain and tears from her face, choking up in disappointment. "Shaowu, am I not good? Okay. Isn't it beautiful? Pretty, so you. Brother is waiting for us at home." "I don't care," Wang Xiaomeng suddenly roared, her sharp voice piercing through the rain and drifting in the open and pitch-black night sky. Ding Xiaowu's body trembled suddenly. Wang Xiaomeng was also startled by her own voice. "Go for it. On this rainy night, she wants to fulfill herself and fulfill the Ding family." Suddenly flipped over Ding Xiaowu's shoulder and met his 4 eyes. Despite the darkness, he still felt the fierceness in the other person's eyes. Looking at each other for 5 seconds, Wang Xiaomeng grabbed onto his sturdy neck. Time and space seem to have frozen, the sound of wind and rain outside is all quiet at this moment, and the world seems to only have the beating hearts of both sides. "No, I can't. She is my brother's lover. No, no." Click. A flash of lightning made the field seem like daylight. Suddenly stood up. "Sorry, I." Wang Xiaomeng also stood up. The blurred gaze gradually shrank. "You. I am not human." Wang Xiaomeng was stunned and suddenly extended her jade arm, slapping him in the face. Then it rushed into the rainwater. Ding Xiaowu was stunned for a long time, until another lightning struck and saw Wang Xiaomeng stumbling in the distance, suddenly falling under a field ridge. Quickly running over, Wang Xiaomeng curled up on the fallen corn stalks, unsure if she was injured. He didn't say a word, picked up his cold body, and ran step by step towards the village. Wang Xiaomeng kept her eyes closed as rain dripped from her long hair. At the village entrance, one could have rested under the eaves for a while. Then let Wang Xiaomeng get up and run home. Let the villagers see that it's not good. "How are you? Can you walk?" Wang Xiaomeng just let out a and tears welled up from the corners of her eyes. There was no one on the street, gritted his teeth and continued to run forward. As we approached our doorstep, there was a person not far away, wrapped in a bright plastic cloth, holding an umbrella and a poncho in his hand. "It's my brother Ding Dao." Ding Dao should have stepped forward immediately. He hesitated for a moment, then turned around and walked towards home.